Alrighty, so thank you for joining today's Resume and Transferable Skills Workshop. My name is Robin Cesa, and so I'll be facilitating this afternoon's workshop. I am here with a couple of advisors who will be talking about the Integrative Studies degree and what you can do with that degree in that major, and also some things about looking at transferable skills. So I'm really excited for you all to be here this afternoon. So today we'll focus on kind of like what I said, the Integrative Studies major, and discuss resume and transferable skills. And so on our agenda today, we'll be discussing the benefit and advantage of an integrative studies major. Pick your field strategically with intention and purpose. Pick your classes strategically with intention and purpose. Major does not equal a career. Why employers want someone with a degree. An in-depth look at transferable skills. We'll take a look at some job descriptions and not just looking at the job titles. We'll also challenge you to look at yourself and identify 3 different transferable skills that you can gain from each class. Also, how to effectively list transferable skills on the resume. And then lastly, increasing your odds to tailor your resume. And so first, Katie, if you don't mind, you can go ahead and introduce yourself, and I'll let you have the floor.
Okay. So like Robin said, my name is Katie Crow. I'm a senior academic counselor in the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences.
I need to be.
So I just wanted to start by telling you a little bit about myself. So I am an alum of UNT. I graduated in 2006 with my bachelor's in history with secondary teaching certification. So I do have some experience as a high school social studies teacher. And then I returned and received my master's degree in history and higher education. So I have been working as an academic counselor at UNT for about 11 years now. I think yesterday was officially 11 years. So one of the things we wanted to kind of highlight, since this workshop is about transferable skills, are some of the transferable skills that we have gained through our own education and experience. And these are things that you should be seeking out, but sometimes there are also things that you don't even necessarily realize at the time that you're gaining. Transferable skills are going to be a little bit different than sort of like job specific skills. So we're not talking about things like learning how to run a specific computer program or anything like that. We're talking about the skills that you can pick up and take with you from one career to the next. So a few things that I've gained in my education and experience: communication skills, both written and oral communication. Had to do a lot of written communication as a history major, and obviously a lot of oral communication in my career as a teacher and also as an academic counselor. Critical thinking, problem solving, learning to look at problems from different angles, think outside the box. Leadership, teamwork and collaboration, having to do a lot of that. Really, in pretty much any career is something that you're going to have to do a lot of. And then cultural diversity and global issues is one that I really gained from my study of history, but also in working with people from different cultures and backgrounds. And you'll notice that I didn't say history or research. So obviously in my day-to-day job now, I'm not being a historian. I'm not doing research and I'm not writing about history every day right now. But that doesn't mean that there aren't skills that I gained in doing that I'm still using every day. And so those are going to be the things that we're talking about today, those transferable skills.
Thank you, Katie. Alrighty, Missy, do you mind introducing yourself? Oh, Missy, I think you're muted.
Oh, Missy, you're on mute.
Yeah, that's lovely. And so I am filling in for Laurie today, and I'm excited to be here with you guys. So thanks for coming. And my name is Missy Annigenberg, and I've been in class advising for I mean, 19 years or something. And so I actually am an alumni of this major when it was called General Studies. I did this major with purpose and intention, which we're going to talk a lot about those words today. And I kind of created a counseling undergrad that we don't have and still don't have. Didn't then, don't have. And then I decided my freshman year that I was going to get my master's degree in counseling. And so I shaped and molded a major around my goals and my intentions. And we just lost our PowerPoint, I guess. And so so I got my undergrad in psychology, counseling, and human development family studies, where I was able to study about people in all different capacities and perspectives. And then I went and got my master's degree in counseling, and I focused in on the college university track in my master's degree. And ever since I started my master's degree, so after my undergrad, I've been an advisor and then just stayed and grew over the years. And so it's fun. And so I get to come alongside you guys in this journey of college and career and figuring all these things out. And so I learned a ton in my undergrad and through my degree. But I also want to say that it was a combination of my education and my leadership experience, my involvement at the university that really had molded and shaped me to be who I am and to be marketable as an advisor. And who I knew. It was also who I knew. I had networking connections. And so, but I was doing a lot of things at the same time in my undergrad. I was working part-time, was heavily involved in ministry, and I was able to, that grew me in my organizational skills and my ability to work on a team and collaborate. Also took lots of classes about people and learning about career and whatnot. Also grew in critical thinking through every single one of my courses. And so, and every single day we are using these sort of skills and more. This is just a few things, right? And so I could go on. And so, but that's just a little bit about me. So let's dive in because we're going to be talking about a little bit more about these skills. So I'm going to cover the next few slides, the benefit of an integrative studies major. So you might be in here today, or even if we're in here and y'all are listening to a recording later, like you might be a student that's currently shaping and molding their degree right now, or you might be graduating this semester. So I'm going to kind of address both of those populations as I talk. And so but integrative studies is what is so fun, is a tailor-made kind of design your own degree. You get to design and shape how your goals and your interests are put together in your undergrad. And so you have the ability to choose your fields, and hopefully you're doing them with purpose and intention. And you get to think through where am I going? What am I going to do later on in the world of work? And how am I going to make integrative studies in my major give me the most abilities to be able to market myself later and have the skills and abilities. So we live in a very interdisciplinary and also multicultural global world. And what is so fun about integrative studies and so useful and meaningful and marketable is that you get to choose what courses and fields, and you get to think about what skills am I gaining from all of those? And you get to be very multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary in your approach to your education. And so you get to see how to complement skills of study, maybe not do all the same sort of skills, but maybe actually get multiple different skills to make yourself marketable in this very interdisciplinary world that we live in. A job does not necessarily just do one discipline, right? We are using all sorts of skills all over the whole. If we could choose all the courses across the campus, we are probably dabbling in a majority of them. And so in any profession. And so we encourage you guys to be curious and to learn. That's what integrative studies allows you to do is to really dabble and learn and be curious, because you are able to apply all of these things to the real world. And that's the beauty of integrative studies, is that the employers, they're wanting you to come in with a lot of transferable skills. Like they need you to be teachable and trainable and be able to do a lot of things and be capable of doing things like speaking, maybe people skills. They need you to critically think. They need you to analyze. They need you to solve problems. They need you to do that. And they can't necessarily teach you how to do that. But having a degree is teaching you and all of those skills along the way. And sometimes we don't even notice it. Like we're not even aware that we're growing in these transferable skills along the way. And so, but this is an opportunity for us to reflect on, what are my transferable skills? Like, what do I have? What am I capable of? And what am I bringing to the table? And so that is what is great about integrative studies, is it gives you the flexibility that you need to choose your courses and your studies, to apply them and be intentional with that, and being mindful of what are employers looking for. And so we're going to talk, you can go ahead and go to the next slide. And whenever we think about, well, where am I going? And some people don't know when they see us, and some people know exactly. Like I was that person that, like, I had my eyes on a prize. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I'm not all of our students, integrative studies majors, do integrative studies for lots of different reasons, and they come in different developmental phases of their career journey. And so, but it is going to be important for you to think through, what like career umbrella could I see myself doing? And what we mean by that is, like, what like general industry could you see yourself going? Like, do you see yourself going in the medical field? Do you see yourself going in the business world? Like maybe doing something with real estate or banking or marketing? Like, do you see yourself falling into a certain industry, like a health and profession? The more clarity you can get into the career umbrella, at least, then the more clarity and strategy you can do and use and apply to your major. And that's what we mean by like being strategical and being intentional to pick your fields, which make up your major, and pick your coursework. And so if you could get more clarity on that, which Career Center's here to help you along the way. You can go do the My Plan. They can process that with you, help you get more clarity and direction. You can go job shadow. There are so many things that you can do and resources that we have here at UNT to help you get that clarity if you don't have that already. And once you have a little bit more clarity, then you can start to really be intentional and strategic. Even if you don't, though, I want to say this. So even if you don't have clarity, you're still not doing things for nothing. Like no matter what you take has transferable skills, has learning outcomes that ultimately, even looking back, which is maybe you're graduating today or this semester, and you're looking back instead of looking ahead of what you can do. And you can look back intentionally and figure out, well, what have I learned? What have I grown in? And how do I market those skills? And so one thing I would like to say on this front is, what skills and abilities are needed to help you meet this goal? Again, Career Center's here to help you, but Own It is a really great resource. Own It, if you can get a little bit more clarity and you can start to research professions and jobs, then you can go on Own It and like research that and see, what do they say my skills and abilities need to be? And then you could even start to be like, okay, I'm seeing a theme here. Maybe I need to grow in these certain skills. Let me try to find courses that can help develop me in those ways. And so you can use the faculty.unt.edu. You can use course descriptions to be able to get more clarity and insight. And so we can help you with that too. We are experts, right? Like me and Katie and the rest of our team, we can help you even think through that too, of like, oh, you're saying you want to learn this skill. Well, how about this course? And so I get super passionate and super nerdy about these sort of things. And I love to help. students make those connections. And so, and don't forget about your electives. I know in integrative studies, there are so much, most people have lots of room for electives. And that could be a missed opportunity. So let's not miss that opportunity, and let's be intentional and strategically pick electives that are going to help grow you and challenge you and maybe complement areas that you just didn't get in your major. And so that way your whole degree is a very well-rounded, very robust major that you leave with lots of skills and abilities. I guess we can go to the next slide. And so major does not equal career. I say this all the time, that a major, I don't care what it is, even if it's accounting, even if it's teaching, it does not mean that your career is locked in. And so no major is necessarily leading to exactly one degree. Even a nursing student doesn't have to be a nurse the rest of their life, right? They can go pitch and market themselves a different direction. And so having a degree is what employers are usually looking for, but why? Like, why is it just a degree and why not a particular major? Most employers understand that that no matter what your major is, you're being shaped and molded into an individual that's well-rounded, educated, that ability to critically think, all these transferable skills we're talking about, like the ability to critically think, the ability to write and speak and understand people from different perspectives and whatnot. And so no matter what your major is, you can go take that and apply that to multiple different disciplines. And so, but knowing your transferable skills, knowing the knowledge and skills that you have is going to be good when you're sitting and talking and networking with somebody or in your interview, so that you can be empowered with that knowledge of like, this is what I have to bring to the table. And I'm excited to be able to do this, this, and this to help grow whatever I'm doing, whoever I'm talking to. So having the ability to think through that is going to help you be more well-versed in what to say. And many majors can lead to many different careers. And again, like I said in the beginning, is my major was super valuable and super purposeful and intentional, set a wonderful foundation for not only my profession, but also my master's degree, but also my experience outside of the classroom. So don't neglect being aware of those things too, and how that is marketable too. And so anytime you can get involved and engage in the campus and grow in leadership, like get outside, volunteer, anything where you're literally developing yourself even further and you're getting exposure and insight and engaging, that is going to be marketable for you too. And so yeah, major does not equal any particular career. Next slide, please. And so why are employers, I'm kind of going to be redundant a little bit here, but why employers want someone with a degree? What does that mean? And so I've said a little bit of that, but I want to flesh it out a little bit more. I want to kind of expound on it a little bit more. So you're getting a broad skill set that no matter what, you can pitch and market, and you become the person that's teachable and trainable. Like an employer might have in a job, you might not know exactly how to do the job, and they train you in that, but you sure know how to learn. You sure know how to problem solve. You know how to think outside the box. You know how to research and analyze and figure things out, like, because through even science classes that you had to do in your core, like you did that. And so you need to realize what capabilities you have. But like, I'm going to flesh things out a little bit more. So it says, for instance, problem solving skills. So you've probably been asked to come up with a solution to a problem or develop a research topic and write a well thought out analysis. You've probably been faced with difficult tasks you didn't immediately find an answer to, but figuring out answers to difficult questions yourself, or asking professors or classmates for help, encountering a problem when struggling to find a solution, or even like I'm just thinking about in real life, like figuring out how to find a roommate, or how to make sure that everybody is paying their bills on time, like just pragmatically too, like as you mature and grow and develop throughout your college years and learning about like the adulting process. And obviously we have non-traditionals and traditionals. So that obviously that would be speaking to more of the traditionals, traditional students. And so you have, through that process, you've learned how to solve problems. You've used your resources. You've been able to take these tasks that build resilience and strength and the ability to problem solve. And so when employers see that you have a degree, they're expecting that you've been faced with these things and that you've overcome and that you've conquered and that you've been successful. Otherwise, you wouldn't have completed your degree. Or like team working skills, for instance, college classes integrate team working and group projects into class curriculum all the time. And you guys probably have encountered this with team projects, the pluses and minuses of those. And so it could be something as simple as making a presentation or writing a paper together, that achieving that simple task that coordinates meeting up times and doing your fair share of the work and doing it well, reviewing the work with everybody working together, being collaborative, being considerate of other members' time and commitments, your presentation skills, delegating work, understanding strengths and weaknesses, splitting up tasks, even receiving feedback. Maybe somebody on your team maybe wanted to give you something that would make things better, and you receiving feedback and giving feedback as well. That is all part going to be used one day in the real world, all day, every day, in the world of work. Or tenacity and work ethic. And you've committed to accomplishing a long-term goal. This has taken like 4 years or more for a lot of us. And that was further than just an immediate future. You demonstrated the ability to work hard towards something big, and you demonstrated all the necessary tasks to complete that goal. So finishing something to completion says a lot about you and your perseverance, and how you don't just give up easy. And so, and there's lots of obstacles. I know whenever I meet with students along the way that life happens, and you figure out how to do this thing called college at the same time as life happening, and just the diligence and the perseverance to overcome obstacles. And so the employers are aware of that. And they see that and they know that. And you guys need to be aware of that and see that, and not to diminish what value you do have in having a degree, no matter what the major is.
Alrighty, thank you, Missy, for taking care of the first portion of this workshop. Now I'll be giving you all a career center perspective on your transferable skills and what those things look like on your resume and how to apply them when you're applying for jobs. So the first thing we'll talk about is transferability. And transferability is essentially you cultivating your diverse interests into a form of 3 concentrations from your degree. So you'll look at your interests and then translate them into skills and knowledge that you could use into your future career. Next thing is marketability. So some majors have a narrow focus on a subject, whereas with the integrative studies degree, students become adept to integrating concepts from various disciplines and supplying them with a well-rounded perspective and the ability to see things from many angles. So kind of what Missy was talking about, just the advantage that you all have with this degree and being able to, and I think Katie spoke about it earlier as well, being able to see things from different angles and perspective, that really gives you a sharp edge and makes you a competitive candidate within this competitive market. So that's really, really good. And then last thing is that versatility, right? So with the integrative study major, you'll walk down an academic and career path that enhances adaptability, creativity, problem solving, communication, teamwork, and other amazing skills that are crucial in any field of work that you'll go into. And so taking a deeper dive into marketability, with marketability, you understand that employers are seeking candidates with a diverse skill set and expertise who have the ability to approach problems from multiple angles. So going back to, Missy, with the problem solving, it's an extremely important skill to have when you are sharing that on your resume, when you're looking at different positions that you want to apply for, these are the things that employers want to see. They want to see that students know and that their candidates know how to solve problems, because problems are a constant. They will come and they will occur. And so how you handle that is truly, truly key in you standing out as a candidate. And so naturally, your major equips you with these tools to succeed and identify your unique skill sets and marketability. So employers value employees who are capable of bridging the gaps between different domains. So project manager, liaison, just as an example. And then employers might use a worker who is skilled in technology, business, and design for a startup or in innovative product development. Now, versatility. Versatility, we'll talk about adaptability first. So adaptability is the ability to switch between different types of work, skill sets, and industries, which offer you a significant advantage in a rapidly changing and evolving job market. So your perspective industries are expanding threefold. So you really do have an advantage with this degree, whereas some degrees are specifically focused on certain majors of interest or certain topics. With the three different concentration, it really does give you that competitive edge, which brings me to my next point in problem solving. And so problem solving, having a diverse background will allow you to approach problems from different angles, like we talked about, and have a unique perspective and offer expertise from various fields. And so using your versatility as your selling point and a marketing tool is a great advantage, kind of like what we talked about, being able to showcase those traits within an elevator pitch or your resume or a cover letter or your job interview or on LinkedIn if you have an active LinkedIn account. And if you don't, you can definitely visit the Career Center site and we'll be able to schedule an appointment with you and kind of help you brush up or give your LinkedIn a facelift, if you will, and get that together for you, or doing that through networking. Networking is a secret weapon that people kind of overlook sometimes, and that may be due to intimidation or insecurity. But the Career Center has plethora of events throughout the semester that can get you comfortable with attending these type of events, especially at a large scale. And for those of you that are graduating this semester, if you don't have time to visit any Career Center events, you do have an opportunity to schedule an appointment with a career coach who can be able to sit down with you and kind of go over some networking tips that you could utilize when you do have an opportunity to attend an event such as that. So next thing we'll talk about is transferability. So transferable skills, these skills that you've acquired in one concentration can be adapted and applied to another. It's identifying patterns and what skills overlap and really honing in on those particular skills. Also, skills such as communication, critical thinking, problem solving, they'll be used in all various industries. So I think Missy said it earlier, having these skills, you're going to use this everywhere. Katie was talking about having a background in history, and which is true, and she may not be using that degree to its full potential in this current role, but those skills that she gained from that degree help her when she's meeting with students or when she's in meeting or where she's connecting with her colleagues. So it's really about getting you to see that the skills that you gain in one area can be used across the board and not just in one specific area. And then lastly, we want students to be aware of the 8 NACE competencies that employers are intentionally seeking after, and we'll talk about that in this next slide. And so the NACE competencies are listed on the screen. So it's career and self-development, communication, critical thinking, equity and inclusion, leadership, professionalism, teamwork, and technology. And so for those of you who don't know what NACE is the National Association of Colleges and Employers. And so these are some of the skills that a collect group of corporations and organizations say that they are looking for from their candidates. And this is a general sense of kind of what we talked about in previous slides that employers are looking for. They want to make sure that students have that communication piece. They want to make sure that students, or I'll say prospective candidates, have that professionalism. They have that teamwork. They are able to upskill or reskill if need be. They have that leadership, they're self-motivating, self-working, and they can, they're self-starters and different things like that. So these are some of the skills that employers are looking for. And so I'll pass it off to Katie, who will now be talking about looking at the job description and not just the job title.
Okay, thanks, Robin. So how do I take all this information that I've learned about transferable skills and apply that when I'm looking at potential jobs and careers? So first thing you want to do is when you're looking at jobs, make sure that you're reading the full job posting and the description and not just scanning job titles. Because there could be a lot of things out there that you might kind of skip over just looking at the title, not realizing that, hey, that's actually something I'm qualified for or that I might enjoy doing. So that's the information that you learn by reading the full description of job posting and seeing what are the skills and abilities that this employer is asking for in this position. And are those skills and abilities that I have? Do I match up with this, right? Know how to sell yourself. So you might look at this job and say, hey, I have exactly what they're looking for. But the next challenge for you is to actually verbalize that, put that in writing. And that's what you're going to be doing in tailoring your resume and your cover letter to applying for this specific job. That's what you're going to be doing in your interview, is actually verbalizing those transferable skills and knowing how to sell yourself when you're talking with the employer. So we're just going to practice real quick reading a job posting. So I'm going to give us a minute here to kind of scan through this. This is a community relations liaison for a museum. So take a minute, kind of scan through this job posting and look for keywords in the job posting that tell you what kind of skills this employer is looking for. So they might not come out and specifically say, we want somebody with communication skills. We want somebody with critical thinking skills. But there are definitely keywords and phrases that tell you that's what they're looking for. And if you want to throw in the chat something that you notice, any keywords that you're seeing, we'll just take a minute. Provide excellent and prompt writing. Yep. Address concerns and requests. Yes. That tells you they're looking for some problem solving skills. Just the title itself, Community Relations Liaison, tells you that they're looking for somebody with good communication skills, somebody who's good at working with people, which means that you're going to need interpersonal skills, intercultural skills. Okay, we could go to the next, or actually somebody wanted to see a list of skills from a few slides ago. Do we want to go back to the NACE competencies?
Yes, give me one moment.
So communication, critical thinking, equity and inclusion, leadership, professionalism, teamwork, technology, career and self-development. You could also throw professionalism in there, or professionalism. Yeah. Okay, we could go back to the. Okay. So this is just a few things that we picked out to highlight some of the skills that they're looking for. So interpersonal, leadership, organization and initiative, teamwork, problem solving, got to have a little bit of technological skill, critical thinking, professionalism, anything that involves you working with the community and representing your organization, of course, is going to require professionalism, written communication, working with diverse populations, analytical skills, oral communication, strong work ethic. So these are the kinds of things that you need to get good at identifying when you're reading through a job posting. So read critically, right? So look at these keywords and phrases and be able to identify what transferable skill they're really looking for, and is that something that you bring to the table? Okay. All right. So how do I figure out if I have these transferable skills? So one of the things that you can do is look at your syllabi from your classes, current and past classes. If you look at the goals and learning objectives, a lot of your instructors will actually put what skills they believe that you should gain in going through this course. So in order to be successful in this course, you will have to use and learn these skills. You can always go to facultyinfo.unt.edu and look at the syllabus from a class that you've taken. So you can actually look the professor up by name, you can look up course number, and you can find syllabus from a past semester. Also think about what's the format of the class, what types of assignments and projects are you going to have to do? What skills do you have to use and develop to be successful in that class? So beyond just what you're expected to learn in the class, what skills do you have to utilize in order to be successful in that class? So do you have to have good communication skills? Do you have to have good team working skills? Do you have to be able to take initiative? A lot of our students like online classes, which are great, but you do have to have a certain amount of initiative to be successful in those online classes because you're not going to the class physically 2 or 3 days a week. And it can be very easy to put those things on the back burner. So you do have to be organized and you have to use your skills in order to be successful in the class. Okay. So just a couple of examples of syllabi where you can look and see what skills students are expected to gain in the course. So COM 3620, intercultural communication, is one that a lot of our students take. This was with Dr. Anderson Lane from last spring. So she has listed out very explicitly the critical thinking skills, communication skills, personal responsibility, social responsibility. So she's put it in very clear terms. These are the transferable skills that you should gain in doing this class and in the content of this class. And if we go to the next one, this is strategic social media, another really popular course with our students. So this one is a little less obvious as far as the transferable skills. This instructor focused a little bit more on those industry specific skills. So specific to using social media. But again, using your, critical reading ability, explaining content type and strategies, demonstrating how to use social media for business and organizations, utilizing social media management tools and basic platforms, platform analytics, summarize ethical and cultural implications of the growth of social media. So reading through this, you can identify other transferable skills that you have to develop and use in order to learn these things. So like ethical and cultural implications, you have to have a certain amount of cultural awareness in order to be able to do that.
Thank you, Katie. So now I'll just be talking about how you can effectively list your transferable skills on the resume. And generally speaking, students have, or just candidates in general, have a lot of real estate on their resume to list out their transferable skills. This can be done in their professional profile, their experience, and even in their volunteering section on their resume. So in the professional profile, you can think about this as your 30-second speech or your elevator pitch, in a sense, and you're really allowing the recruiter or the hiring manager to see who you are within this short sentence. And so we'll read this one here, and it says results-oriented integrative studies major with a concentration in business, economics, international studies at the university, demonstrating strong communication, critical thinking, offers extensive knowledge and expertise in accounting, finance, bookkeeping, and data collection, seeking positions in accountant at ABC Bank to enhance professional development and accounting industry practices. So there were three transferable skills that were listed, well, two that were listed within the professional profile. So the first one was the strong communication, and the second one was critical thinking. So that off top lets the recruiter know, the hiring manager know, like, okay, this person has had practice in utilizing both their communication and critical thinking. Especially when you're working in banking and economics, you have to think critically because the numbers really do matter. And so you can't just throw something out there and have no explanation for it, right? And then also with that strong communication piece, the business, you have to be able to articulate yourself well, and break down the jargon so people can understand. And even in economics, right, and international studies, you have to be able to communicate to a diverse sets of people, group of people. And so those things are important to mention there, right? And then we go down to the experience, and let's see if I can pull out some that are here. So the first one for the bookkeeping, it's perform migration and QuickBooks for 500 plus clients utilizing effective data collection methods and data entry techniques and strategies, resulting in a $5,000 client sales revenue increase quarterly. So here, though it may not explicitly state it, what we can see is this person pays attention to detail, so very detail oriented. This person has to have strong communication. This person has to have just strong abilities, strong characteristics to really work in this field, especially if they're resulting in a $5,000 client sales revenue, right? And then that process, the third bullet point on this one says process accounts payable, invoice, and ensure payment are accurate and timely while maximizing cash flow. So time management, that's a big one here. That transferable skill, this translates across all industries when working with like time management and how that would apply. And so those are just a few that I wanted you to see when it comes to putting out transferable skills on your resume. Again, you have plenty of real estate to do that. You can do that in the professional profile, the experience, and volunteering as well. And so the last thing we'll talk about today is increasing your odds and tailoring your resume. And so when you're creating your resume, you want to create a list of skills that you possess, both those soft skills and hard skills. And so I'll kind of go back between the slide that we're on right now and this slide, just so you can see what those soft skills and hard skills look like. So the soft skills would be listed as core competencies, or yeah, core competencies on the resume. And then those hard skills are technical skills. These are the financial analyst, the tax preparation, audit support. These are more so specifically, in you all's case, the things that you utilize within your three concentrations, or any softwares that you utilize within your concentration, like Excel, or um, any like auditing tools that you may have used. And just sticking with this example for this resume. And then the core competencies, the soft skills, these are adaptability, leadership, problem solving, team oriented, conflict resolution. So you want to have that, you want to create a list of the skills that you possess, and then you want to tailor your resume. You want to tailor your resume to the job description to showcase that you possess the skills that they are wanting. And so I think we talked about it a little bit in the look at the job description, not the job title, because the job description will tell you the skills that you have that are similar to what they're wanting. This is where you, and we tell students all the time to, when you have your resume, you don't want to just put all of your experience on there, because sometimes it's not relevant. And so you want to make sure that you're putting relevant, excuse me, relevant information on your resume. So that way, the recruiter and the hiring manager can see, okay, this person has that experience. This person knows what they're doing, and they can easily mesh into our organization, right? And then the last thing is, you want to take advantage of your resources. You want to meet with your career coaches. You want to meet with the Career Center, your teachers, your professors, your advisors, Katie or Missy, or any professionals that you know at any organization that you've been able to have like the meeting at, or things like that, or maybe they've come to campus at a Career Center event, or any mentors that you have. And a mentor could be your professor. It could be a faculty that you've just kind of grown a relationship with, and you've been comfortable to ask them questions as far as like academically and professionally. Or you could also take advantage of Mean Green Mentors. That's another way that you could get connected with other alumni who have been where you've been, and they've crossed the bridge that you're trying to get over. And so there's a lot of resources that is made available to you all. And we just want to make sure that you guys, take advantage of them. You're paying for it. You might as well use it. And we're here to help. That's what we're here for. It's not a burden. It's not a problem. We do really want to support you in your professional journey as well as your academic journey as well. And so with that, this concludes our workshop for today. So thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions for